Okay everyone, hi there and welcome to yet another tutorial by Troy2062. So as they say, a tutorial a day keeps the search engine away. Now as weak and pitiful as that joke may be, today I'm actually going to show you something which will prevent you from needing to go constantly through hundreds of tutorials looking up this effect. And for such a simple effect, it often warrants such painful searching. The simple effect we'll be creating today is particle effects. I'll be showing you how to create an effect similar to this, or if you prefer a more intense effect, this. Personally, I prefer the non-edited effect, as it has a subtle feel to it. It can be used for meteors, missile trails, etc. So let's just head into Max, and we will create an emitter. So under Create, head to Standard Primitives, choose Particle Systems, Super Spray, and drag one out. Right click it, rotate it, and that'll do. Okay, so click our emitter, go to the Edit tab, set our rate to 20 particles, set the size to 15, and under standard particles down here, set it to facing. There we go. That is essentially our particle emitter created. As an afterthought, enable mesh here under viewport display, and right down at the very bottom of this list, choose Load Save Presets, choose Hose, and Load. You can experiment with these presets. Some of them can create some pretty interesting effects, but we're not going to get into detail with that today, as I only have 10 minutes for this video, and the last one had to be edited a lot to get to fit on YouTube. As you can see, as you roll out your animation, you have a fairly interesting particle effect there, although it is pretty bland at the moment, as you can see. So let's just scroll right back up and take mesh here. So you can now see your particles being born, aging, and then eventually disappearing. Well, off screen, but nonetheless. So let us now head into the material editor, strike the M key, and now we're going to create our particle material. So under diffuse, click the box. Then for diffuse, we're going to use a particle age map. Let's head back to parent, and at the top under shader basic parameters, click face map, and for glossiness choose 0. That's important now. So expand your maps rollout, and under opacity check the box, click none, and we will choose a mask. For the map section, we'll be using a noise map. Set its size to 10. For the mask section, we will be using a gradient map. Set the gradient type to radial. Okay, now head into particle age for the diffuse color, and modify the settings as shown here. So what's going to happen here is now we have 3 colors, white, white, and a dark grey. When the particle is born, its age will be 0%, so it will be white. When it ages, it will continue to be white up to 50%. After 50%, it will begin to turn its color to a grey, and by 100% it will be this dark grey color seen here. This is the basis for this particle effect, and you can toy around with these settings until you find something you like. Let's go parent, and let's apply this to the emitter and show in viewport. Now if we render this out here, render we can see it doesn't look too good. So let's just, under our particle rate over here, change it to 20 and re-render. Getting there, getting there. Now head back down. You see, when we opened up our preset for the particle emitter, it overwrote all the settings, meaning that we must now reconfigure these. I probably should have told you this before, or even set these after we put in the particle preset, but let's just do it now. Change particle size back to 15, but enter. Whoa, that's looking matrix style there, isn't it? So let's just scroll back down. Too far. There we go. Change standard particles to facing. Now we have a lovely particle cloud-like thing here. That suggests that our particles are too large. I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a massive particle cloud there. I'll just render that out. So you can see it did create our particles pretty well. This could be used for interesting looking clouds, I'm sure, but that's not exactly what we're looking for today. So let's just abort this render and modify our particle size until the emitter produces something to our liking. Alright, so I brought the particle size down to 1.95. Now if I was doing a very intense scene with production quality effects, I would probably use a minuscule particle size like 0.5. However, this is a laptop I'm using this on at the moment, and I haven't got a year to render a frame. So let's just re-render this now. Zoom in a little bit. Now that's the stuff. It's looking a bit better. We're going to need to increase our particle rate. Beware that the more you increase this, the more your render time will increase. If you double this, you will triple your render time. It isn't quite proportional. So let's go to 30 and test that out yet again. Looking better. Now if we take a leap to, let's say, a little bit random, let's say 53, and render that out, you'll see you add more detail to the particle and more realism to the particle. So if we zoom right in now, it's actually producing the particles at a much larger rate of detail. And you can also see it is taking a long time to render. And this is being rendered on a Intel Core 2 Duo at 2 GHz. So if you are intending to render vast numbers of particles, I suggest this is the time to break out those quad-core processors. Wouldn't you agree?